Hello and welcome to the German Grand Prix here for the Americas tier tonight. I'm joined by my good pal Pierre Blades. How are you doing tonight, Pierre?
I'm alright, mate. Seems like I'm going to be leading tonight to give yourself a rest.
Yeah, nah, I'm a little bit underneath the weather, but we'll get through it. Just
We will, mate. We will.
hot coffee or tea, or I'm drinking hot chocolate to be truthfully honest. Cough drops are my new favorite go-to food. Um, but we
And
will
we
get
are
through.
dry all the way, with
Nice.
the possibility of rain at the end of qualifying. So
Uh,
we
guys
might
will
see
probably
some
be
of
happy
these
with it.
guys just putting their laps in early.
Yeah, we have a smaller grid than normal. We have a couple people missing.
A couple.
Quite a few actually. But Perry's in California. Um, I know Seth put his absence in. The undercut had some work issues, couldn't make it back in time. We do have one of the racing points on a racing ban, so he's not allowed to race tonight. And myself, I'm
Not a surprise, really, when you consider. Um, I think Jay tried to crash intentionally in the last race, or in
yeah,
Canada.
I don't know if it was so much that. It was more with the between qualifying and the race. So
I wasn't there. I didn't watch the Americas
yeah,
Tier stream for
I believe the first
Canada.
car out
So.
on an actual lap is going to be the Mercedes of Fenrique. Um, actually, have not. It's been a while since I've done this, so hopefully I can get. There we go.
Just don't
Lap.
miss stuff like Thomas does.
Oh, no reason whatsoever. The
Well, he always
fabulous.
misses the driver winning.
It's kind of part of his thing, ain't it? I mean, he's been doing that for a long time. We just expect it. Oh, and Fenrique runs real
Ooh, big
wide.
slide. I heard the gravel getting kicked up out the back of his car.
And I'm sure that probably would have invalidated his lap.
No, I don't think so. I mean, someone in the Tier 1 stream, I can't remember who it was. Someone did that in Tier 1 last night.
And
But he
he
doesn't want
has.
it.
Yeah, he's slowed down, but he does have a Haas behind him that he might want to get out of the way for, which he does get out of the way in time.
And that was Grugruck's King.
Yes, he's out on the soft tire. I would imagine most people just do the medium to hard strategy tonight, but you never know. Somebody might try the old two-stop, throw a lap in on the soft tire. As Raycon puts in the first time in on the hard tire with a 1:15.7, which I guess depending on how much fuel he has, might go for another run.
So, I now have a second favourite America's Tier driver merch.
Who's
I've
that?
discovered that Grugruck's King also shares my racing number,
And there you go. Now you got
as
yourself
well
a.
as Claudio. So
Yes, Claudio will be the one I'm pulling for. No bias here. He is in a Ferrari.
Blank pulls over as well on the soft. So these guys just setting banker laps.
It's interesting. I am on board with DK here, and he does set a time, a first time in a 119 or a 112.9. Wow, let's try not to get the numbers. It's good. It's actually a pretty decent lap this early in this stage on the medium tire. The problem is, if he wants to do the one stop, he's done qualifying
Yeah,
wise.
he's done for qualifying. So
Unless he wants to do maybe another lap at the end of the session, but
it's just all taken away from the life of the medium tire, which is the big.
me personally, my favorite strategy around this track is, and you could get away with it easily with a smaller field tonight, is the hard to medium tire. I've basically ran that strategy every time I've raced here, and it's always done me really well. So
Apparently my mic's muted, but it's not. So it might be something to do with your settings.
let's take a look. Give me 1 second. That's you have share audio? I have it all turned on.
And I'll just sort of have a shout at Dan.
Give us a shout. Yeah, all my stuff's. I've never changed it, so.
My settings on always allow for audio to be shared. So.
I can get the standings here in a second.
I believe Alp leads the championship.
Alp leads the championship, I do know that. I'm actually second in the championship, but then it's going to be Juventus and the other Ferrari in third place.
And then Fenrique in fourth.
Yep, and then Alp's teammate of Fenrique in fourth place. Alp obviously is going to have a big opportunity to open the door, or open it up a little bit, the championship lead, but I expect Claudio Juventus tonight to really put up a fight. We did our preseason race here at Germany for this tier just to get everybody kind of used to each other, and Juventus, other than having an incident late in the race, is able to stick with Alp, and he had a decent race. So as long as he can keep the race clean, he'll be on for a decent finish, I'm sure. Arbar comes to the line. I believe this decent lap of a 1:12.6 puts himself on provisional pole right now on the medium tire. Again, I mean, it seems early to really want to put a lap in on that tire unless you're planning to do like another run on it late in the session, but
it's certainly a strange time to do a one-shot quali on the medium tyre, doing it this early.
I mean, I guess the good thing in this situation is it is a smaller field tonight, so it gives the guys, like, if they want to, maybe the two-stop is a decent possibility. I don't think, you're not going to put yourself ahead of guys like Juventus, Alp, or I would even say Slater. Slater has got good pace. I just think doing the one-stop here is the best strategy that you can possibly do. It's just a matter of which one you want to do, medium to hard or hard to medium.
And there you go. Alp goes fastest by 0.4 on the mediums, so.
Yeah, and that's a great lap. He could probably just sit where he's at. He might fall a little bit, but I mean, the guys that are around him have already done their times on the medium tire. There is a chance that his qualifying may be over with still 8 minutes left, which, I mean, good for him to be able to do something like that. Put himself right out front. Oh, gets in front of Blank, who is on a lap, but hopefully it didn't hinder him too much, as Alp did just kind of go straight on.
I believe we saw something like that happening in the Tier 2 stream. Just try to get out of the way at the hairpin. Not going well. Collision, Can't remember who it was, but I can remember saying on commentary something to do with
very wide going into the pits.
Something to do with just go straight on to get out of the way there.
Yeah, that's probably the safest thing to do if you don't want to hinder anybody, but you just gotta make sure you don't slide into the wall.
DK's coming out on the softs, so
Go on board with him, see how he I would assume he's already done a time on his medium tire. He might be going for a two-stop strategy. Or maybe he just wants to have a little fun and waste some time, put the soft tire on, go out there, know you're going to beat your time, and then just back out of it.
It's a question of how bad you want pole.
Yeah, it's just one of those tracks that I just don't think it's necessary to be on pole to win the race. You don't want to compromise the race just to be up front. It's not really worth going on this tire that only really good for at best 5-6 laps. I think anything longer than that, you're on a two-stop strategy. You're hurting your chances of moving through the field. The one thing that I could say with a two-stop strategy that could work is the fact that the grid tonight is a lot smaller than it usually is.
Yeah, and as you said, it's not too important to start on pole around here. It's quite a few opportunities to overtake, so into turn 2 and then down at turn 4 at the hairpin. So
absolutely.
And then Mercedes curve as well. As DK runs through the Mercedes curve and coming up to the second sector split. And he's up by only 2/10, so I think he might back out of this. There is definitely time to be gained in sector 3.
He should pick up a lot of time on these soft tires. They have way more grip early on in his tires. He does run a little bit wide.
In hot lap. Still, he's going to run out of ERS before the line, but he puts it on pole.
Puts it on pole on the soft tire. He
and that
112
is
dead. Arbar is out again on the medium tire, so he's making a second run at it, which I think you can get away with. The hard tire does last a while around here, so it is.
Enzo in the chat says he likes this new commentator, so I assume he means you, mate.
He might. I've done this. This is probably the first time I've done it. Well, it's definitely the first time I've done it since last season.
First time you've commentated since France, Tier 2. Is
that this season, or was that? I don't remember. I've just
this season because you did it with me.
There's a lot going on in my in my world at this moment, so I kind of forget. And Arbar does go quicker by 2/10, so he does a 112.4, which I think is a really great time. He's kind of solidified it himself somewhere inside that top 5. Let's see, Blank's getting ready to start a lap. Badhad is on a lap on the medium tire as he comes to the line, or is he just starting a lap? Nope, he just finished a lap, so he does improve. Puts himself P8. It's guys on, like, I see Slater's out on the hard tire, and Enrique puts in a lap. It says he's been on those tires for 3 laps. Now, I don't know if that's the case. A little bit of a lag, and hopefully that's not going to hinder the other drivers.
Manages to get out of the way of Alp.
It's huge. You don't want to hinder your teammate. Well, his teammate is backed out of the
Not
lap.
Alp, sorry. Blank. Someone said Alp in the chat. And Dan says, who's on the official COS account tonight, that Arbar was strong in Tier 2.
Arbar has really come on
fine.
Strong.
That's fine, Dan. I've got college next week anyway, so I probably can't do it. Which means you've been put up to do it.
I should be able to join Dan next week. Because Brank runs a little wide.
It was a little wide, but he managed to keep it on the track, crucially.
Jumped right on board as he... The final 2 corners up to the line. Let's see where he puts himself. Seems to be a decent lap. He goes P5 with a 112.589. That's a good lap, especially for Blank, as he's been recently struggling with Well, track
Pace.
limits.
Oh,
Pace,
track limits. No.
pace. Yes, he
He's
was
gonna
going
watch
for a
this
while.
back and absolutely slaughter me.
Well, pace is another thing because he's got to get back to
Yeah,
where
he's
he
been
used to.
away
He's
for a
been
while.
away for a
Yeah.
while, so I mean, fair play to him. It's gonna take him a little while to get back to where he used to be. But I have faith in the old blankety blank to get back to where he was. As my teammate Juventus in the Ferrari comes to the line. Let's see what he does. A good lap from him. He puts himself P2 behind DK on the soft tire. So Juventus is only a tenth off of DK. It's a fantastic lap from Juventus, and he did it on a one shot, which is nice because it means at this point he's going to have the fresher tire at the beginning of this race.
He will have the fresher tyre, however, I fear he's lining up on the wrong side of the grid for this track.
You have to
The
kind
left
of be
side,
careful.
the outside is the optimum starting point.
You'll have to be
However,
careful.
with
Hope you don't get
DK,
chapped.
DK being the only one on the soft tyre,
Oh, and Alp gets.
he might.
Alp spins off onto the drag strip.
Is that the?
He was
Where is that?
in the third sector. He was unfortunately he came
yeah,
up behind
out
some
of the
guys
last
starting a
corner.
lap and was blocked on his flying lap. That's qualifying
It's
over for
starting
him.
to rain. Yeah.
Yep.
Alp said it would, and it has started to rain, so it looks like this might. I won't, Dan, I won't. Don't you worry.
Slater's now gone out. He is 2/10 up on the medium tire. His time is on the hard. He is inside the top 10. I don't know. Well,
I mean, if he wants to back out of it and start on the hards, he can. So.
I mean, it's a good situation for him because he's still gonna be on a fresher tire. So, because it seems to be everybody other than Juventus inside the top 10, and Bodhad have done more than one lap on the medium tire. We've got Enrique who did at least 3 from what we can tell, and unfortunately for Alp,
split 4/10 up is Slater, and he's got the Williams of Baker behind him.
the grip is going to get harder. This is where it's going to be the tricky spot. And
oh yeah,
guys,
Slater certainly does struggle.
That's unfortunate for him because he was on for a decent lap, and so does Baker. And Baker loses the back end.
Baker's out.
And that is his qualifying over. Yeah, I figured the rain starts coming down. That third sector becomes very tricky on the dry tire. And
no. Interesting developments coming from Alp. He says the Haas ruined his lap.
yeah, I did see that when I jumped on with him that he had the Haas. He tried to avoid him, and it's something where he'll have to send it in. That's unfortunate when that kind of stuff happens. But looking at it, we do have DK88 in the McLaren. He put it on pole with a 112.004. The Ferrari of Juventus is P2, Fenrique P3. So the battle really is going to be, we know that Alp has struggled with his starts. He's notorious for saying he struggles with his starts. He's going to have to try to get the best start he can possibly can to run away. You don't want to get stuck in one of the DRS trains around here.
Yeah, it obviously is much better to be isolated around this track.
Is it raining?
And,
no, it's cloudy.
Tichy would love to see it, the overcast conditions.
Love to see it, right?
He does love to see it.
Now you will see our drivers not pressing the X button. It is a rule. We want everybody to be able to have a chance, especially when you have mixed conditions. It's not such a big deal when, it's a dry race or anything like that, but...
Well, you might see drivers pressing the X button.
They might do
Cookie.
it. Worries?
Cookie notorious for it.
And while we have a little bit of time, I know I've had some questions throughout the week as to why they haven't seen me driving, why you haven't seen me practicing. I've unfortunately had a situation in my...
Sorry to interrupt you, Mitch, but Callie pressed X.
Yeah, it was well fine. There's no penalty point for that. you're gonna sit here and watch things spin in a circle for no reason until somebody does it. So, um, yeah. But back to what I was saying. I've had some people question because I'm still active in chats. I'm still active as an admin. I'll still be active as a steward, but I've had to back out of driving. I've had some situations at home that's keeping me from driving. Unfortunately, my father has been diagnosed with cancer. Um, so yeah, my practice time has been completely chopped because I'm trying to care for him during the process, trying to do as much family stuff, family orient him, give him as much support as we possibly can during his hard time. It's hard, cancer is it's a terrible disease. It affects everybody, not just the person with cancer. Um, yeah, but I don't want people to think that just because I'm not racing, I'm not a part of the community. I'm not going anywhere. It's not really a goodbye. It's just more like I will be back on track when I can. You might see me next week in the Americas tier if we can find somebody to commentate with Dan. I might be able to race
Mate,
Singapore. It is one of my tracks.
if you want to race it, I'll happily stay up to commentate it.
But it's just one of those things where I think it's best. Anybody that knows me personally knows that I put a lot of time and effort into practicing, being a tier 1 driver, trying to be the best I possibly can, and I'm not going to risk other people's races by not practicing and then blowing somebody up somewhere in the track. So, and just for my own mentality, it's just best for me to stay away from full-blown racing. I'll still be a part of the league. I will be doing the back-end stuff and helping at home where I'm needed, while he starts his chemotherapy and radiation within the next few weeks. So that's where I stand. I don't want anybody. I'm not looking for attention. I don't want anybody to think of that. So let's just skip right to it. We're gonna start racing.
Well, I'm gonna give you what the chat say. Enzo says he's sorry to hear that, and Dom, obviously, I think Claudio's uncle, has said much love to you. So
All right, we do
we're
have
all
the
here to support you in this difficult time, mate.
5 red lights, but I'm assuming it's not out. Okay, here we go. A terrible camera angle as Juventus almost gets chopped at turn 1, so he does have to back out of it, and Fenriquez pulls alongside of the Ferrari going down into turn 2. Juventus goes defensive, and he does make the makes the moves. Basically makes the move stick because he had to basically repass.
Great cornering speed from Juventus.
It was fantastic by him, so he is going to be... There's going to be a train, so I'm assuming Fenrique, he doesn't defend it, and Fenrique dives down the inside into the hairpin. He's going to be, a little bit of ghosting. Just, when these cars get heavy, do that section, these guys are probably running a lower wing. The back end of the car wants to snap out on you, so you've got to watch out for that issue. Right before the Mercedes curve, you have a lot of fuel. The car wants to snap around, and it's been a great start for the two Alpha drivers, which I will always choose. I will always choose to root for Ferrari and Alpha, so it's good to see that from them.
Everyone from P4 down has gained a position, or at least P4 down to P9, because Alp has had an awful start once again.
I'm just going to jump on. I didn't even see that. I'm jumping on board with him. He doesn't seem to have any wing damage, and of course I don't have a camera angle that.
No damage.
Clean on my screen. So, yeah, he just had a bad start.
And Matrix in the chat says if DK survives to lap 8, hard tyre till the end is possible.
Yeah, I mean, he could make that work. He will be under pressure from these guys. And we do have I see Badhad, and I don't know if it was Slater or if it was Badhad and Alp, but I saw Badhad's car kind of stepping out, like he was taking some contact with the rear tire.
And Badhad and Alp are battling now. Switching positions.
Alp runs a bit
Alp goes off the track. Doesn't give it up though. And I don't think he'll have to give it up.
No, I don't think he really had the position ever until he was back on track. Um, and it could be something that needs to be looked at if sent in. Going through, I do want to get the tires up there for everybody. Now that DRS will be enabled, it's just a train, and that's unfortunately what you get yourself stuck in. Slater
And
is
unfortunately, it will be a train, but it'll be headed by DK. So I'd say Juventus is in prime position to lead this race.
If Juventus makes a move down into...
Goes around the outside. He's got the traction out there. He's going to get past. I think DK's just out dragging him, yeah. He's going to go into the Mercedes curve. And I'm not going to say he gets the move done because he's just gone off the track.
They're both side by side into this curve and you just...
And DK, smartly enough, pulls out it. Fenrique slips up the inside of DK as well.
That could have been a little bit of a wheel bang there. He kind of knocked DK off track, but no harm done, I don't think. And now DK on the soft tire has to think about what does he need to do. Obviously, I mean, he could just try to hang on as best he can, go to the hard tire. But if you're thinking about two-stopping, stop now, throw the medium tire on, and then stop again when the hard tire guys come in. And just hopefully you filter yourself somewhere out on the fresher tires. Fenrique thinks about a dive down into the hairpin and nothing doing. And Arbar and Blank and the two alphas trying to leave each other space. And as Blank does make the move on his teammate, moves up into P4.
The two Canadians as well, I believe.
Yep.
So nice to see those two battling.
Arbar was brought to the league by Blank, so it's nice to see them partnering with each other. It's been a while for this combo to finally get that, but now that Blank is back, it's good to see.
And crucially, Blank has fallen out of DRS range from DK.
Yeah, it's the nice thing though in that situation is Arbar is the only one that's in his DRS, as Raycon and the other McLaren is still outside of a second. Blank picks up the first. Well, they both alphas pick up a 3-second going into turn 1.
And I've got a feeling that might get removed. Because from my angle, I was riding on board with Blank, and there was no way his tyres were off the track. He had 2 tyres planted on the track, so...
Oh, and Blank goes deep into the hairpin, almost running into the back. He had to make an evasive maneuver, not run into the back of the McLaren. The McLaren starting of DK, his tires are starting to feel it, I think. You start overheating very easily on these tires, and braking just a little bit early compared to what Blank's able to do on that medium tire right now.
And I think Blank and the two at the front are starting to gain tyre advantage now. Because Blank's closing up and closing up.
He's well within DRS.
DK, I think he's gonna have DK. Because I don't think DK is gonna get DRS down this back straight. He's not, so...
It could be a double move here for Alpha, as Arbar and Blank are both really close. Jump on board with Blank here going into the hairpin. Can't make the move done, but his teammate of Arbar makes a move on him.
And Blank has a little slide on the exit, compromising his exit. So, yeah, Arbar gets past. No surprise, really.
I mean, I'm assuming that Blank and Arbar are probably in communication with each other. If they want
definitely.
If they want to make a ground on the guys in front of them, what they're going to want to do is stop battling at the hairpin. If you're going to pass your teammate, back out so you're before the hairpin, so you're not losing so much time going side by side through there. Work together to get past the McLaren of DK, which DK stays out again, so he could be going for a one stop if he can make those tires last another 2 laps. Arbar is going to make a move down to DK. Oh, he cuts the corner big time.
It's going to be all about is an Arbar making that move has just handed DK DRS, and DK's pushed him round, and no wing damage to the other Alpha of Arbar, of Blank, sorry. Blank gets through it clean.
But the other McLaren of Raid has now gotten past Arbar. Alp has now got past Arbar, and Raid is going to move up past his teammate of DK and right behind the rear wing of Blank. As all of this, I've missed the fact that we have a Mercedes and a Ferrari out front battling each other. I'm definitely not Sky Sports, so.
Unlike F1, we show the midfield battles.
I'm not Sky, and Juventus makes a fantastic move going into that corner.
Yeah, very brave from Claudio.
Fantastic.
Up the inside.
What Claudio needs to do is just get away from Fenrique, which is easier said than done. You've got this DRS train, as Fenrique does make a bit of mistake, so he pushes himself outside. And I wonder if he has a DRS failure.
Fenrique's got a DRS failure.
And he's left the session.
Fenrique's left the session. And now his DRS comes on.
So he has had a bit of a...
He's had a nightmare.
Yeah, that's dropped connection. Now that gives Juventus the chance to kind of run away.
That's going to give Blank. That's going to give Blank a massive advantage.
I've sent the... I did set the AI to level 80, so he does have a better chance of sticking with it.
Well, it was 40 last night, and I believe a certain Spaniard is not going to be very happy about his finishing result last night because of that.
Yeah, but fair play to Altic here. Most top-tier drivers, unfortunately, in that situation would just quit. He's not that type of driver, and he's
Al's a great driver, great
driver,
professional.
He
Blank, nearly losing it on the inside curb, down at the sacked curve.
Both my intervals have just stopped working.
Fenrique says he's a lap down, so I mean, Blank has gained ridiculously. Only has a little slide coming out of the last corner.
That gives
the first corner, sorry.
Raycon into...
Yeah, Raycon manages to get past.
Nice thing for Blank is he still gets the DRS, but so will Raycon here in this situation off the ghost car. As there is a ghost.
Who's gonna brake later? Oh, and a bit of pushing going on, bit of tyre banging. And Blank gets a 3-second penalty, and I don't think that's very fair at all.
No, Raycon does the right thing. He lets Blank through, but unfortunately in that situation, he's laking now the other Alpha of Arbar. Then you've got Alp, and there's huge wing damage for the McLaren of Raycon. They all just kind of got tangled up. And that's...
Yeah, that looks like to me from the helicopter, which is not the camera I want at the minute. The left end plate of that McLaren is off. So we maybe see Raycon in for some hard tyres. He just thinks he can stick with it. Fair play to him.
Alp is going to make a move down on... Yeah, I think the best thing to do there, and he gives Arbar a penalty by doing that, just stay behind.
Very smart driving from Alp there.
That forces his competition into a penalty, which we do know Alp has, at least I know that Alp has at least one penalty already. Blank has at least 2, but I think the one could be removed as he was forced wide and it gave him a corner cut.
But, mate, I think both of them could be removed.
That's right, you did see that.
Unfair down at turn 1. I don't think he was off the track at all. So...
Send that in, have it looked at. as Alp is making a move around the alpha of R-bar up into P3, and that's move done. Raycon's done a decent job with that wing damage. It is the left end plate, so there's not any corners and it's really going to hinder him until he gets to the third sector.
Yeah, going to be losing a lot of downforce with that end plate off. It's going to really hinder him in this third sector. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him stop now. I mean, the hards can go to the end. But no, he stays out again.
And Alp pits. So I wonder if he has...
yeah.
I wonder if he's got a little bit of
I don't think he's got damage. They're not preparing a new wing down to Mercedes, so...
He's just pitted, that's all.
Maybe not feeling confident on the mediums. Try to get the undercut.
He's probably trying to get an undercut, get out of that train. He wants to be able to try to catch up to the
and he's going to come out battling with Callie and DK. But in these conditions, he's not going to get those tyres warmed up very quick.
It'll
he
take
slips
a full
around
lap.
the outside of Callie. And back into the points paying positions. And I just want to say hello to Herman and to Crazy Dave.
Hello.
Herman says good morning from Germany. And
good morning.
to Crazy Dave has said he's looking for an opportunity. I don't know if it's commentary or racing, but he sent a message to the website, so...
Fantastic. Yeah,
welcome to the stream, guys.
Somebody will be in touch with you. We do have 3 other tiers other than this is our America's tier. We do have 3 other tiers that race Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday nights. All of different skill levels. Obviously, Wednesday night is our tier 1, tier 2, day, and the whole glory of tier 3 is on Monday nights. All of them
can watch me on Monday nights.
All of them are well worth watch.
Oh yeah, especially tier 3 this season. And I'm not just saying that because I'm in tier 3. We genuinely have a great battle for the championship.
Great battle for the championship. I think the America's tier has been absolutely fantastic this season. It's the first inaugural season for this tier. We're always looking to expand.
Yes, and Dan trusted me with the plug, so I've got to tell you in the chat that we are looking for drivers for a second America's tier. We're also looking to expand out into South Africa and Australia, so if you are from those regions, the link is in the chat. That is to our website. And you can sign up there and we'll get you fitted for a pace test at some point in the near future.
Yes, and I just saw the Mercedes of Enrique has joined back, and I've done him a bit of a favor by setting the AI to a difficulty where at least it didn't drop 35 seconds behind the field.
And at least it hasn't pitted in the time he's been away. Because if it pitted early, he would have been done.
Yeah, and Alp has set the fastest time on the hard tires. He has jumped blank, so there the undercut has helped him massively as blank has just come out a second behind Alp, a little over a second. DK is on the hard tire. So
and
yeah,
that was a wing change for Raidcon. Maybe even a wing change for Slater, because Slater lost some big time in the pits.
He could have jumped into his car, but unfortunately couldn't take control of it. He might have to try again. He can keep trying, and hopefully he can get into it. I did see a little bit of lag with his connection earlier. So
the AI on this game are tyre saving gods, so they might be on the mediums for about.
But what they aren't
15 more laps here.
They don't save you any time; they just lose you time. So. And DK gets around Blank, so now Blank's got some work to do. He's got to get past the
and the lead Alpha is in the pits.
See where R-Bar falls now. Juventus has gone a little bit longer. He does control his own destiny, though, in this race. He has a big enough gap.
He should come out behind DK, I think.
Oh, it's going to be close down into turn 2. R-Bar.
I mean.
Just
what
behind
can you say?
DK.
What can you say?
Our own Crofty. No, you're. Fenrique.
And
Oh, it's not Fenrique. Is Fenrique back in his car? No, that's a ghost. Okay.
and I think Dom, there are close to 65 or 70 cos drivers. We have 4 tiers that are full, I think. This isn't, because we've
We
got...
have. No, this is a full tier. It's just tonight it's not. Well, it's a full tier, and I'm just an asterisk now. So, for the time being, this is a full tier, but we're always looking to.
Yeah, like I say, always looking to expand. You know,
it doesn't take much. You know, if you really want. As Juventus is pitted, the Ferrari. We haven't really talked much about Juventus. He's had a quiet race since the disconnect of with
and this
Fenrique.
is brilliant. He's pulled off the overcut brilliantly. He might even keep the lead.
And he does.
He does keep the lead. And Alp still 3 seconds back on the road. What a strategical decision from Juventus.
Yeah, so he technically lost, I think, about 2.5 seconds, 2 seconds off of Alp, because Alp was about 5 seconds behind when they before they all pitted. The nice thing is now that it's still over 3 seconds. He's got four lap fresher tires. As long as he can keep the race clean, his biggest opponent right now is that Mercedes of Alp, which we know has time penalties. I don't want to jinx anything,
stuck behind
so
Baker.
I'm just gonna go watch something else. Let's watch Blank in the Alpha, who's catching up to his teammate of Arbar now. He did get by the McLaren of DK, did miss that. So Blank is back up into P5. If you can keep it clean, him and the both Alpha drivers are on for good points today.
Oh, and it's a spin for Blank.
And Blank loses it. Unfortunate for the Alpha driver. Just make sure.
Very unfortunate. And he manages to get out the way of Bodhard, who takes to the grass for no reason to get round him, but completely fair. Just wants to stay out of the way. And maybe Blank can get back past now.
They're 3 wide down the back straight here almost, and Raidcon had to think about it, and it just wasn't enough space.
Blank manages to get back through, which is always nice to see.
Love to see. I just like saying it. It's Cookie's fault.
You love to see it.
As Raidcon
And I
cuts
think
the
Slater
there.
did have damage as he's gone onto the medium tyre, so...
Yeah, he pitted a bit early.
Very early for the hards. Fenrique, oh, I thought Fenrique was back in the car for a moment there. But unfortunately dropped to last with his pit stop, so... Baker in a bit early.
I don't think it's early. I mean, some people think it's early. I've always been the type of person at this track. I've split my race in half. I've always done 17 and 7. He did one less lap than I normally would. But I don't. You'll have a little bit of issue with the tire later on. But the nice thing is you're so much quicker at this early part of the medium tire, and it will take until lap 15, 16 of that medium tire to not have an advantage anymore, depending on your own driver's pace, you know. So does get by Slater into the hair pump, and see it's a little late braking by Slater.
No, I have raced with Slater quite often. He is very quick. He's a very quick driver, and I feel really bad for him. He's not had the best of starts to the season as Bodhard off at the Mercedes curve.
It looked like the McLaren of Raid and him might have made contact going into that corner, and unfortunately forced Bodhard off track.
No wing damage on the McLaren.
At least that's good coming from it.
And none on the Toro Rosso either, as Alp gets another penalty. That could be massive.
It is massive, but I'm just looking at the time intervals now, and Juventus is clearly showing that he's got a masterclass drive today. He is pulling away from this field.
And I will say, during the practice race pre-season that was streamed on the COS channel, I believe Juventus did have the pace around here, so...
Yeah, he just made a mistake.
Yeah, just a mistake, and that's all it was. But
Lost it, so... Baker tries to make a lunge down the inside, and Raycon parks it on the apex. All fair games, Baker didn't expect it, but it made Baker unfortunately have to slam on the brakes, lock up.
flat spot in those tyres.
At least this game doesn't believe in flat spots. The day that
Yeah,
they
of
do that,
course.
there will be some people that have a lot of issues. They're running around on square tires, unfortunately. Kind of Hot is pitted again, went to the medium tire, but he should be fine. He can go to the end on that tire. He'll catch back up to the AI of Fenrique. He might be able to get himself some points depending on penalties. Cali still hasn't... Well, he pitted on lap 1, I'm assuming. So he needs to make one more stop. Raycon's falling off the back of
pit
Slater.
stop situation. Yeah, no, Cali's been on these tyres since the start.
Oh, that's right. He
So-
has to complete the lap to give me the counter, so... Yeah, it's kind of happening what happened last night in the Tier 1 race, where they're just banning themselves out. We'll have guys like DK, who's going to the end. He will struggle to go to the end, but he will be able to go to the end. Grugrux King is going to have to pit again. Or he's going to have to pit.
He's just gonna have to pit, yeah.
Not again, but should have to pit. And then...
Slater, if he doesn't look after his tyres, will have to pit. Because
Grugrux, he's pitting now.
15 laps on the medium tyre, it can certainly be done. With blank benefits picking up DRS the first 2 straights.
Yeah, Blank's gonna try. He's gonna have to try to drive as hard as possible right now to get away from Big Slater. But unfortunately, the tire advantage for Slater in the traction zones, he's gonna be able to just keep up, run him down, and then Blank's gonna have to play the game of wait until those tires go off or continuously attack him just to make him try to burn up that tire. Slater does
Oh, and he runs deep.
Blank does
And
the
Blank gets a
switchback.
beautiful switchback.
Fantastic driving there by Blank, as he knew his opponent there is... Slater's going to dive down the inside and... Wheel bang,
yes,
nothing
Dom.
dirty.
Alp has the fastest lap with a 1:15.0. So...
Slater then goes back
Oh.
around the outside of... And Blank,
Ballsy move by Slater.
fantastic move, as Blank went a little bit wide, dropped the rear tire. He's lucky he hadn't spun it again.
And I think we could have seen Blank challenging for a podium place had he not had that spin.
Yeah, I
Which
think
is
we
a shame.
definitely could have his teammates up there. So he was right with his teammate when that happened. So
As I
that's-
said, Alp is a tier 1 driver, but Arbar had the pace in tier 2 this week, so... And I believe only lost out to Jacob. I think they're teammates. No, Robin's teammate in tier 2. Sorry. I'm very tired, but Arbar certainly did have some pace in the tier 2 race, so...
Yeah, I think he had an unfortunate situation. I think he took damage in there. I can't remember. I could be thinking of last week's race, 2 weeks ago. Not.
It's unfortunately. Yes, Dom. Alp fastest lap, and he says great driving from Blank and Slater, which we do like to see.
Nice to see Blank's getting himself up to speed as you do. You see the little yellow thing, which means he's running light on fuel. No worries there, as Blank is notorious for being the type of guy to run the lower fuel levels. So I'm not too worried about it. He'll be fine
if he
at the end of the race.
wants, he's got DRS. He's in the slipstream. He can save fuel. Save fuel, save ARS now.
Yeah, he
As
wants to
long as
try
he
to hang on.
manages to keep himself in DRS range, and that's not a penalty either.
I kind of saw that when he ran a little bit wide, but it still looked like the right side tires were still on track, so I don't know. That was interesting. But what he wants to do right now is just try to hang on the best he can to that racing point. Oh, his R bars dropped out. I wonder if there's an issue with the lobby. I'm not sure.
Well, let's just hope Arbar manages to get back in, because he's having a great race so far.
R bar. Blank's the closest one on track to anybody. They are taking chunks of time as there's R-Bar back in before DK has really started to cut into his lead.
And I just hope that...
Hopefully he can get back in the car. Sometimes you gotta make sure you click on... I've never had it happen, so I don't know what you're supposed to do. I assume it's the same thing as taking over a car in practice mode, so...
Yeah, you just have to come in and click take control. I had it in the France race for Tier 3. Yeah, I had it in the France race in Tier 3, where it kicked me out during qualifying, and I had to jump in the car before the race started. And unfortunately I ended up messing up the stream that day, because of the lead system. Great system if Cody's can get it perfected, please, thanks.
If they can get that worked out, it would look fantastic. It would work so fantastically, where like grid penalties and stuff like that, where we don't have to be super harsh on small blocking penalties or something at qualifying. We just give you a penalty for it. It would work out so nice if it allowed us to do that.
Would this be Claudio's first win?
I didn't want to say anything, but yes.
Well, Enzo said it in the chat, and I was just wondering, because I thought he'd won a race before this season, so...
Nope, he's finished second. Arbar's left again. He couldn't take control of that car. Hopefully he can get back in and take control of it.
And DK's coming right up to the back now. This is good. This is a shame. And, I do feel for Arbar. Obviously having a great race in P3. And just struggling to get back in the lobby.
I've hosted the lobby and I'm streaming, so I'm wondering if that has been the issue. I've never done that, so normally I've just either streamed or I've hosted the lobby. That car solid again? Not yet. He just joined back.
No, he's not.
Still ghosted. Why it's not letting him take control of the car. Very unfortunate for him. His Alp is starting to cut into Juventus's lead. He's down to 3.5 seconds, 3.3. But that could just be Juventus taking his time, knowing his closest car on track has got at least 6 seconds, I believe. So
6 seconds and 1 warning. So he would have to beat Juventus at this moment by 6 seconds on the track. As Slater and Blank come up to the back of
Arbar.
The stricken Alpha.
That is so unfortunate.
It is, it really is. And Dom's asking for the penalties. Arbar 6 seconds. Slater Wizard Award for clean driving. And Blank, I think all of Blank's penalties are going to get removed, so it doesn't matter.
Well, it'll depend on how many warnings he gets outside of the ones that he has.
Well,
so
yeah,
he's got to send in his race director and all the footage of the penalties, and then we get to play the game of, is that a penalty? Is that a corner cut or isn't it? I think, honestly, like turn 1 here, his Alp goes fastest with a 14.968. So I think it's really unfortunate that a track like here, where everybody in real life runs wide.
Yeah,
at least
the FIA just don't care.
Yeah, they use the whole curb. Video game, because of the way the game's coded, You're outside the white lines, instant penalty. So, I mean, I get it. That's how it but I just wish they were a little more lenient with it.
And I think Slater's only saving grace from blank now is the Alpha in front of Arbar, who is solid again, so Arbar's managed to get back in.
Yay, so he's only lost one position, and unfortunately has lost a podium position for now. Hopefully, don't have any more issues going forward. Alp is catching. Slater is trying to get by, and he does get by Arbar. Slater's getting to that point now where he's not going to have that big of a tire advantage, as he runs very deep, and he's going to let... Oh, and all three of them make contact.
I didn't think... No, Blank didn't make any contact with either car.
Oh, Blank got through that solidly.
Blank is clear.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. It looked like...
Arbar with wing damage. Slater with wing damage.
Yeah, it looked like somebody lost the rear end on the curb, and they just got collected up in that situation. That's very unfortunate.
I've got a feeling it'll be... No Alpha into the pit lane. What about the racing point? The racing point does come in. And I think it'll be soft tyres. Yeah.
As the big winner in that situation is LSF1 Baker, which we haven't talked about, but he started near the back on the hard tire and has had a fantastic race. He's got himself up to P5. Blank has got himself up into P4. Yeah, I don't know how he didn't make contact with those guys.
Did a good job to avoid.
It's unfortunate for Arbar. It's unfortunate for Slater. And it's the same thing every week with Slater. Like, I just feel like he's got the pace. I know he's first time league racing, so he's learning the 50% races, but it always seems to be something that's not him. Or just a one-off situation where something happens.
Racing incident, you know what I mean? And he gets out of shape in a corner and then...
But his attitude is the type of attitude that we look for in a driver, where he shrugs it off and looks at the best of it.
I'll try and say it without offending anyone. He doesn't have a tier 1 ego.
You're not offending anybody. I'm in tier 1. I know exactly what you're talking about. As Alp is now pulled, he doesn't have the ego. It's fantastic.
He doesn't have the attitude that it's like, if I'm not winning, I'm going to leave because I don't want to race if I'm not winning. Which I can respect. I like to see that in a driver.
Alp is closing
I cut
up
you
to
off
the back.
many times, sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. Alp is he's closed up to the back of the Juventus. He's now only 2 seconds off. I have a feeling Juventus is playing the I've got a good pace. I'm playing, or I'm not making any mistakes. He passes me on track. He passes me on track. I really honestly think that's what he's thinking right now.
I think he might be playing the penalty game.
Which is fine. He's had a great race.
6 laps to go across the line, so...
He's a technical driver. He can defend very well if he needed to in this situation. But I don't think he's smart. He knows what to do, when to do it. So he'll make the right decision, I'm sure. If Alp gets to him, I mean, he's keeping him at bay at 2 seconds, and it's been like that for the whole lap. So Arbar does decide to pit. He will have to get the wing change, as Raidcon will move up into P6.
Soft tyres, Arbar having good pace. It'll be interesting to see what he can do from here with some brand new softs.
And DK is going to pull off this strategy. It's fantastic. He's had some incidents happen behind him that's helped him.
Certainly
with the situation.
Helped him, yeah.
But
and I mean,
him doing the soft to hard strategy he's the only one I think this week that's going to be pulling that one off in a race, and not because of like an accident or something like that. He genuinely went from the soft to the hard. Got a little over 4 laps left, but he's got a 4-second gap. I think he'll be able to do it. Baker's pulling back to the rear wing of blank, but at this point those medium tires are going to be about equal, so.
So you're saying DK's made the alternate strategy work?
Yeah, he's made the strategy that I've not seen anybody do this week.
No, nobody's done it this week.
And fair play to him. That's fantastic.
It is indeed. It's very, very nice to see someone making an obscure strategy work.
It's so much
And,
obscure, I just think nobody wants to try it.
well, yeah. It's not obscure, but it certainly isn't the favoured strategy.
Oh, definitely, Dom. DK definitely has benefited from all the situations behind him, but I mean, that's racing, unfortunately. Sometimes you win some, you lose some. I do want to call out Group Crux. If at this point, I believe this would be his best finish.
Yeah, I think
a driver
that's
that's
finished.
he openly admitted he was off the pace when he first joined the tier, but it's nice to see him making the improvements and growing over the span of the season. So that's always good to see from your drivers.
And if he stays within 12 seconds of Raidcon, I believe it's going to be P6.
Later picks up a penalty. Alp is now just under 2 seconds. Again, I think it just comes down to the Ferrari of Juventus is just playing.
He's
just
playing the
a
no
pace game.
penalties game.
Yep, he's playing a very consistent pace, keeping the car on the island, not letting it run out wide, where you know you can.
And Arbar gets the fastest lap, which isn't a surprise on the soft tyre.
It's an unfortunate situation. He drops out of the race, and then he has an incident that could have been or should have been avoided, but I think it had more to do with the fact that somebody lost the. I don't know if it was him or if it was Slater. I have to look back at.
Somebody certainly lost it on the curb.
They lost it on the curb, and they collected each other.
Certainly is an unfortunate situation.
Up to the back of the Toro Rosso Badhan, who's haven't had the best of race. He's made an extra pit stop, I know that, but he's in the points, which, you know, for some of these guys is they're looking for. And tonight, you know, best opportunity to make up as many positions as possible. You don't have as many of the top tier drivers, I should say, in like Perry or I've pulled myself out and trying to think who else would be missed. Seth would be definitely in this group. As Badhat on my screen is got rainbow tires. Okay, interesting. He's running hards on the
rainbow tires.
He's running hards on the front and mediums on the back. I'm pretty sure that's a penalty. The FIA would DQ you for that.
It's no. You see, they're just testing. It's testing for next season.
It's testing. I get it, but I still don't think it's legal.
It's testing for next season. They are testing out the brand new FIA regulated for 2020 colour changing compound.
Fantastic.
And I did see Slater running the colour changes earlier, so.
Alpha of Arbar has now gotten past the Toro Rosso of Badhat, and he'll have that position. Softer tire. He'll move on. He will probably get the fastest lap as well. Gonna jump on board here shortly with the go on board now. We do have Alp running down a Ferrari, but I think it's all for late.
You don't want to miss this, do you?
Alright.
You never want to miss the first.
I'm not going to miss the first. I'm definitely not going to miss the first for somebody like Juventus. Not that I would miss the first for anybody else in the league, but I've been racing with Juventus a long time, and I've been waiting for this day.
He certainly does deserve the win.
He's improved and improved and improved. It's unfortunate we've lost him out of our tier 2 due to the fact that he has gone to uni. Obviously that stuff comes first, life comes first, so.
And we're all so proud.
But it's good to see. Blank is catching up the back of DK. I didn't want to miss it, but I don't think it's close enough, so I'm going to jump back to the Ferrari of Juventus as he's going down into the hairpin for the last time tonight.
And he's coming up on the back of Fenrique, so...
I want to take his time getting through this. He's sure giving it his all, though. I will say that. He's running a hot lap. And he's backed it down now. He's run out of URS, but...
And it just goes to show how dominant these two guys are. If you look at the gap back to DK.
Yes, they've had a fantastic race. Alp had to drive his way back through the field, but as we come to the line out of the final corner, the Ferrari of Juventus wins his first race in contest of speed as Alp finished second.
And we'll have to wait a long time for the third place finisher, so...
DK...
If you want to go get some snacks, some popcorn, you know.
Fair play to DK. He's made this the one-off strategy of the soft to the hards as he's hold off the Alpha of Blank, who was on for a great race, had a situation, but let's see who wins this on penalties. It should be DK getting it at the line. Yes, DK is...
And he holds it.
Baker comes to the line. Takes P4 off of Blank just by a little less than a second. So that's DK's first podium. Raidcon finishes 6th. Group Crux King, I do believe this is his best finish in contest of speed. Finishing P7 on track. Let's see. Yes, Arbar finishing 8th. Badhad 9th. Oh, nope. Slater 8th. Badhad 9th. Arbar down to 10th. Cali Mail finishing P11. We do need our driver of the day votes. I'm giving my driver of the day.
I've got a feeling it's going to be Juventus.
My driver of the day is Juventus.
So,
call me a little biased, but he's dominated this whole race. We will get... Alp has already put in chat that he can't join for interviews, so... Good night to you. Great race. We will be getting... we'll try to get DK and Juventus in as well.
I'll send them invites now.
Okay. We'll go down the list, and we do have another Ferrari victory. It's nice to see. I'm so happy for him. He has no idea. I kind of feel like Dan did when I won my first race. So this is something
you can
that
express your emotions in the interviews.
I'm trying my best to not be too. And yeah, driver of the day for me. I'm not even gonna let anybody vote. It's Juventus, clean as day. We have Juventus P1, Alp finishing P2, DK finishing P3, his first podium and best finish in contest of speed. LSF1 in the Williams finishing P4. Blank, welcome back. I think he was with us last week, but he's had enough time to practice now. Welcome back, Blank. P5, Raidcon P6. Group Crux King, his best finish in contest of speed as well. His P7. Slater P8, Badhad P9, Arbar P10. And that rounds out our top 10. I think both guys that will be joining us for interviews have both joined. Make sure your guys' stuff is set to share, which I'm sure it is. Juventus. Yes. We will start interviews here in a second, as soon as you guys know for sure your guys' stuff is set.
I think mine's good.
I know for a fact Juventus is set. So.
Yeah, I'm good. Should be good.
Our P2 driver can't join us for interviews. To wait for him. All right.
Party setting. Yep. Always
Do you want to do interviews, Pierre? Or
I'll take DK and I'll let you have Juventus.
Fair play. All right, go ahead.
So, DK, pole position today. Were you expecting that coming into the race?
Honestly, no, man. Like, I don't know. I kind of thought more people would go out on the softs. but they didn't. I kind of screwed myself over for the start.
It's difficult to pull off the soft to hard strategy, but you did it very well. Managed it on P3 today. Happy with the result?
Oh yeah, first podium, my heart's like racing. I didn't know if I'd get caught by the penalties from Baker. I know Blank was good, but Baker was starting to kind of bother me, kind of gaining behind him. But managed to hold it. I'm pretty proud of myself, pretty happy. It's pretty awesome.
It was a great drive, mate. A lot of going-ons behind you. There was a few accidents, but I think your pace spoke for itself today. So congratulations on the first podium, and hope to see you up here a lot more in the future.
All right, thank you.
How long do I make him wait? I could keep it going, but nah. Juventus, you've won a race. How does it feel?
Oh man,
I no bias whatsoever. I was not biased in the chat whatsoever. You are driver of the day. You were clean. But your first victory.
2 awards. So
first victory. You at the beginning, obviously, you had to kind of follow around DK as he was on the softer tire. You and Fenrique ended up having a bit of a battle. Both of you guys going at it. And fortunately for him, he dropped connection. And from that point on, you set the pace. I mean, when you wanted to turn it on, you could tell. You would turn it on and you'd pull away from Alp. And then you let Alp kind of pretend like he was going to be able to come back. Even though he had the penalties, you turn it back on and pull away from him. So was it just felt like you just controlled this whole race from not the whole start, but most of it. I mean, what's your thoughts? How are you feeling?
well, first off, I just want to say a shout out to my Uncle Dom and any fans that supported me into the chat, to any drivers that helped me practice and stuff, YouTube, Mitch, everyone, thank you. Man, like, this feels so good. It feels so rewarding and so unexpected. I literally, and I'm not just saying this, like, I literally just I just practiced Germany today. Usually I ask Mitch what the strategy is, but I remember it was medium to hards, and so I just kind of went with my gut. I think the strategy in qualifying was pretty good. I waited out because I knew there was going to be some rain, but I wanted the track to grip up more. So I waited a little bit longer, went out, set a good lap, and got P2. And from there, the race start was pretty good. I didn't have my mindset on the win at all. My main goal was to be clean, and I was so happy to do that. And to kind of just stick with DK, and Fenrique so quick too. So I was always watching him, and unfortunately for him, he lagged out. But other than that, I just put my foot down. Usually in the past, anytime that I've been out front, I get pretty nervous, and I feel like I tend to make mistakes. But I just try to keep my head down and box when I felt the tires were going off. And from there, I felt decent on the hard tire, and Alp was crazy quick, but I was able to manage my fuel and battery, and yeah, like you said, whenever he came close, I just had enough to fend him off for today. But big congratulations to the rest of the podium.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you were the leading guy on the medium tire, so you were definitely. I mean, your pace definitely showed, like, when we did the practice race for the Americas tier. So, it's you did make the mistake when you were out front, like you said. You get a little bit nervous when you're out there, but you get that first one under your belt, and I can probably say this: it becomes a little more comforting just knowing that you have the ability. I'll be looking forward to seeing you probably winning a few more races. Hopefully, I can jump in with you as a teammate still when I can. Emotion. I was so happy for you. So it's great to see. I'm not trying to be biased to anybody else. It's just,
mate, Dan says this to me all the time.
Yeah,
let it out. Just let it out.
Me and Juventus have been around for a while, and we've become pretty decent friends. So I couldn't be happier to see him finally get his first victory in contest of speed. And not
I will say it's very nice that it's very nice that you get to be here. Congratulations, Claudio, as well.
Thank you so much, man. Yeah.
It's very nice that you get to be here in the box to watch it, Mitch.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So, on that
Thanks,
note,
guys.
we're gonna end stream.
In fact, you're not,
I'm
because I've got some plugging to do.
Oh, Mr. Plug yourself. Jesus. I thought I thought Dan went to bed.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, I've got a meeting with him in a few weeks, so
Yeah, so you better just do all the plugging he
setting
tells you
up
to
to
do.
impress. So, unfortunately, this is the end of our racing for this week. But if you want to watch more Contest of Speed, these guys will be back at the same time next week at Singapore. Singapore, right, Mitch?
Yes, Singapore next week. Great track.
Um,
Crazy weather.
But if you can't wait for next week, you can watch this video back when it goes onto YouTube. And the Tier 3 guys will open the week at Singapore on Monday at 10 o'clock.
UK time. 10
So-
o'clock UK.
10 o'clock UK time. 10 PM UK. So I believe with that is it from me and Mitch. And that is it from Contest of Speed for the week. Thank you very much for watching, and good night.